Welcome you all to the 412 Homestead. Today we're making something delicious. Of course, we always do here at the 412, but we're going to start off our Christmas candy goodie making right here today. We're going to make some toffee. We're going to start out with, we need a cup of sugar, we need 2 sticks of butter, we need a 1/4 cup of water. We're going to need about 1.5 cups of chopped pecans. And then we're going to need us some good old semi-sweet chocolate chips. Now what we're going to need to put this in, the recipe calls for a 9 by 9 pan. I have an 8 by 8 pan. We're going to call that close enough. Ours is just going to be a little bit thicker. And we're going to need something to stir with. You can use a candy thermometer if you want to, but the recipe that I'm going by just tells me to boil it for 7 minutes. So some of y'all might not have a candy thermometer, so we are going to try this recipe without a candy thermometer, see how it turns out. But we're going to head on over to the stove because we got to dump all this together and we're going to boil it in our saucepan. All right, you guys, before we go to the stove, we have got to get our pan all prepped because when that toffee is done, you want to be able to just pour it right in your pan. So what we had to do is we had to line our baking pan. I used some brown parchment and I just cut it to fit the size pan I was going to use. And a little tip, every time I would try to put the thing in there, it would want to pop back up. Take you some butter, take you a stick of butter, just grease all the sides of that pan. And when you put it in there, it'll just stick and stay right in place. So the rest of the prep tip for the pan is we've got to get some pecans in there. We're just going to sprinkle that all over the bottom of our pan because this is what we're going to pour our hot toffee on top of. So we want to give it that good crunchy base. I'm going to chop just a few more because I want that good and crunchy. We're just dumping it in. We'll just pack it down evenly. And I think that looks great. So that is our prep. So now we are ready to melt our ingredients and we'll be able to pour that right on top of there. And once we get our toffee on top of it, we're going to top it with some chocolate chips, cover that, let it melt, and then we're going to top that with some more nuts. Now you could use almonds, whatever kind of nuts you like to use. We have pecans on hand, so that's what we're going to do. You could probably use walnuts. I don't know why you couldn't. Walnuts would be good, but we're doing pecans, so we are ready to head toward the stove. All right, we're over here at the stove and we are going to get ready. We're going to get our fire to going. We're going to be medium heat here. We're going to go in with our cup of sugar, our 1/4 cup of water, and our 2 sticks of butter. And we are going to melt this. We're going to stir it, stir it, stir it. Might take a little bit for it to get ready to melt, but this is not something that you want to go off and put to cooking and go do your laundry. This is something that you better be close by, and when it comes to the point of it boiling, because we got to boil it for that 7 minutes, remember, that is something that you are going to have to stay right with it and keep stirring because you don't want it to burn. We're going to get it to a nice leathery color, and then it'll be ready to pour on top of our pecans we've got. We're going to, like I said, do this without using a candy thermometer. So we're going to boil it for 7 minutes. When it reaches that boiling point, boil it for 7 minutes. By then it should have a nice toasty golden tan color. And we're going to pour that over our pecans. I hope you guys are enjoying our videos. I hope you guys had a nice Thanksgiving. We went from Thanksgiving, jumped right into the Christmas season. You know, we got all decorated here with our bright reds and greens, and it is looking a lot like Christmas. But y'all, it's not about presents and Christmas trees and, you know, all the big hoopla that the world makes it. It's all about Jesus. Jesus was born, and he is our only hope. He is the only way that we're going to get to heaven. So this season, just remember, as Pastor said, what lens are you going to be looking through? Your own lens, or the lens that Jesus looks to us? He loves us, and just remind you to be kind to each other. You don't know what anybody's going through. So just a little tidbit. Okay, I'm going to go in with my whisk now. We're starting to see them little bubbles. It's starting to get to a little boiling point here. So we're getting about to the time that we can start setting our timer for that 7 minutes that we're going to boil it for. So I think we have gotten to the place we're going to go ahead and set our timer for 7 minutes. And we're going to see how this turns out, you guys. But like I said, at this point, don't go wash your car or do a load of dishes or anything. Just be stirring your toffee mixture, because it's going to be yummy. All right, you guys, it's starting to smell so good. Toasty smelling. The color is changing a little bit. It's getting a little frothy. We're not where we need to be, but we're getting closer. So what I'm reminding you is just keep stirring. Keep stirring. We're almost there. Okay, you guys, we're getting on the last leg of it. We're turned to tanner color, toastier color. We're just about ready to pour it on top of our chopped pecans over there. Our timer's just about to go off, so be ready, because we're going to dump here in a minute. All right, you guys, look at that wonderful toffee that we just made on our stove top. We're going to pour that and let that set up right on top of those pecans. We're going to let that set for just a few minutes. I'm going to make sure I get it all the way to the corners, cover it over. We're going to let that set just a few minutes, and then we are going to put our chocolate chips on top of it. All right, we've topped those with some chocolate chips. We're finishing up here. I'm just adding into the few spaces that don't have any. And then what we're going to do is we're going to tint this with our baking sheet here. That's going to melt those chocolate chips. We'll come back and we'll spread that out and top it with some chopped pecans. All right, let's check this out and see if these chips are melted. Ooh, I think they are. So what we need to do is we're just going to easily, oh yeah, we're just going to easily just use our knife and spread out those melted chocolate chips. See how nice and melted they are? We're just going to spread this out across our toffee. Be sure to get it from side to side. Get your center good and covered. Okay, I think we got that. Now we want to be sure and get our nuts. We're just gonna sprinkle some of these more chopped pecans just over the top. You could, if you had the sea salt flakes, put some of that on top. I don't have any, so we're going to skip that step, but it would be really good. So we're just going to lightly top that. And we got to let this all set up. We'll come back after a while and get it all broke up for you. Doesn't that look wonderful? That's going to be so good, and y'all, it smells great. Our toffee we've had snuck up in the freezer getting chilled, so I think it's ready to come out of there. So the easy thing about putting it with parchment paper, it just lifts right out of your pan. And we're going to pull this down away from it. Looks like we've got us a little bit of a overflow there on the edge, but I think we'll just be able to cut this in pieces here. You could actually break it apart. We're just going to chop this up and we're going to serve it on our platter. Look, y'all. We got that toffee layer. We got our chocolate layer, and we got also those pecans. We're just going to start putting it on our platter here. Let's chop up some more of it. This is going to be some yummy, yummy Christmas candy. Don't have to be uniform. Just whatever breaks off, that's your piece that you get. Now this might have been a different consistency if we would have used our candy thermometer, but this particular recipe told us to just boil for 7 minutes. So that's what we did. We just boiled it for 7 minutes. All right, you guys, there it is, our homemade toffee here on the 412 Homestead. Isn't that beautiful? We're going to give it a try. But you guys, if you like this video, please like and subscribe to our channel. Give us a big thumbs up. Hit that notification bell so you'll know when the next one's out. But you guys, God bless you. Thank you for stopping by the 412 Homestead.